Hello, space cadets. Today, we're going to be talking about the solar system. Today's mission, we're going to discover what makes up our very own solar system. A good question to start off with is, what is a solar system? A solar system is a star, the sun, with a group of heavenly bodies, the planets that revolve around it. For an introduction question, can you name all of the planets in our solar system? I'm going to give you a second to pause the video and see if you can name all the planets in our solar system. Could you name all the planets in our solar system? If not, that's okay, because we're going to go over them right now. So first we have the sun, which is not a planet, it is a star. The sun is the center of our solar system, and it is very big. About 1.3 million Earths could fit inside of the sun. And the sun is orbited by all of the planets in our solar system. The sun is a huge ball made out of hydrogen and helium gases. The surface of the sun is about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and the center is about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. So it's very hot. The sun provides the solar system with light and heat. So the first planet that we have is Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Mercury is also the smallest planet in our solar system. It is about as wide as the Atlantic Ocean. On Mercury, the temperatures range from negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit to 842 degrees Fahrenheit. Mercury is the fastest planet in our solar system. It travels at 31 miles per second. It takes Mercury 88 days to complete an orbit around the sun and 59 days to complete a rotation on its axis. And when I say days, I'm going to be comparing everything to Earth days because that's what we're familiar with, or Earth years that you'll see later. So to give you a little size comparison, 18 Mercuries could fit inside of our Earth. So next we have Venus. Venus is the second planet from the sun. Venus is also the hottest planet in our solar system. Temperatures on Venus range from 820 degrees to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Venus is also the brightest planet in our solar system, and the second brightest thing you will see in the night sky behind our moon. The surface of Venus hosts thousands of volcanoes, craters, and mountain ranges. It takes Venus 225 days to complete an orbit around the sun and 234 days to complete a rotation on its axis. To give you a little size comparison of Venus, it is about the same size of Earth. It's very comparable, but you can see Earth is just a little bit bigger. So next we have Earth, our planet. Earth is the third planet from the sun. Earth is also the fifth largest planet in our solar system. Earth has only one moon, and 70% of Earth's surface is covered by water. Earth is the only planet in our solar system to host life. The average temperature on Earth is 59 degrees at the surface. It takes Earth 365 days to orbit the sun and 24 hours to complete a rotation on its axis. So next we have Mars, the red planet, as you can see. It gets that name because of all the iron on its surface, but Mars is the fourth planet from the sun. Mars is the most likely candidate for future human life behind Earth, and temperatures on Mars range from negative 220 degrees to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Water also exists on Mars in the form of ice. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos. It takes Mars 687 days to complete orbit around the sun and 24.6 hours to complete a rotation on its axis. And to give you a little size comparison of Mars, about 7 Mars could fit inside of our Earth. So the first 4 planets I just talked about, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, from left to right in this photo, are called terrestrial planets. And some common characteristics of terrestrial planets are that they are made of rocky material and have a solid surface. They do not have rings. They have few moons, and they are relatively small compared to all of the planets in our solar system. So next we have Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is a gas giant, which means that it is mostly composed of gases like helium and hydrogen. Jupiter does not have a hard surface. Instead, it has gases swirling above a solid core. Jupiter has at least 92 moons, and temperatures on Jupiter range from negative 150 degrees to negative 260 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes Jupiter 12 years to complete an orbit around the sun and 10 hours to complete a rotation on its axis. More than 1,300 Earths could fit inside of Jupiter. Next, we have Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun, and Saturn is also the 2nd largest planet in our solar system, behind Jupiter. Saturn is a gas giant with 7 rings, and the rings are made out of billions of small chunks of ice, rocks, and dust. Saturn has 83 moons, and the temperatures on Saturn range from negative 280 degrees to negative 170 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes Saturn 29.4 years to complete an orbit around the sun and 10.7 hours to complete a rotation on its axis. More than 700 Earths could fit inside of Saturn. Next, we have Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun. Uranus is the 4th largest planet, and it is an ice giant, meaning that it has an abundance of water and ice forming materials in its atmosphere. Uranus has 13 rings made out of ice and rock. Uranus orbits the sun on its side. You can see its picture sideways there. And Uranus has 27 moons. The average temperature on Uranus is negative 353 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes Uranus 84 years to complete an orbit around the sun and 17 hours to complete a rotation on its axis. 63 Earths could fit inside of Uranus. Last but not least, we have Neptune, which is the 8th and furthest planet from the sun. Neptune has 14 moons. Neptune is an ice giant with 80% of the planet's mass consisting of dense icy materials, water, methane, and ammonia. Neptune has at least 5 faint rings made of clumps of dust and debris. Neptune is the coldest planet. The average temperature on Neptune is negative 374 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes Neptune 165 years to orbit the sun and 16 hours to complete a rotation on its axis. 57 Earths could fit inside of Neptune. So those last 4 planets I just talked about, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are Jovian planets. And common characteristics of Jovian planets are they have multiple moons, no solid surface, they support ring systems, and they are immense in size. So that's all I have for you. I'm going to leave you with the closing questions. After this presentation, can you name all the planets in our solar system? And bonus points if you can name them in order from closest to furthest from the sun. Thank you.